So there's a really weird ability inside of Destiny right now, and that is the grapple. Well, not really the grapple, but the Grapple Melee. Obviously, we know the grapple, we get to swing around like Spider-Man, it's good, it works. But what gets really confusing is when you hit your melee button during or after that grapple, what is it? Is it a melee? Is it grenade damage? How do you build into that? That's what I'm gonna show you now, and I think you're gonna be surprised. And to make sure this test goes smoothly, I have no aspects and all my fragments are disabled because of that. So to start, let's look at it. When you grapple, your melee turns into a little fist, and when you activate it, it would do your Grapple Melee. So that seems pretty straightforward, right? It seems to be a melee, but it's also a grenade. So starting with it as a grenade, we have 3 bolstering detonations socketed, which bolstering detonation gives you class ability on grenade damage. And let's try it out. Using our rift to make sure it's empty, we grapple in, we grapple melee, and we got about 30% of our rift back, even though we have a mod that gives it back on grenade damage. So now let's change it around and do Focusing Strike, which gives us rift back on melee damage. Just like before, we're going to use our rift, then we're going to grapple in and use our Grapple Melee, but it shouldn't do anything because it worked with grenades. But it does! It also gives us about 30% back. I'm already really confused how this ability works, but just to push it a little farther, we're going to put 2 Focusing Strikes on for melee damage and 1 Bolstering Detonation for grenade damage and see what happens. We use a rift, we're going to grapple in, and we do the Grapple Melee, and we get like 50% of our rift back. I'm just confused. This is a Grapple Melee ability that counts for both grenade and melee damage, which is just weird. I don't think it's working as intended. It doesn't make sense why it counts as both, and when you use both at the same time, it gives you more ability energy. It is just a weird, wacky ability. And since we like getting wacky, we like getting wild, what mods are actually gonna be synergizing with this? Well, starting with the arms, as we already saw, you can do Focusing Strike or Bolstering Detonation to get your class ability back. But you can also do stuff like Impact Induction, which gives you your grenade back for melee damage. And in my testing, Heavy-Handed is also what you're going to want, as the Grapple Melee will spawn orbs, and then also your other melee will spawn orbs. And then moving down to the legs, you'll likely want Innervation, because we want our grapple, we want our Grapple Melee. Picking up the orbs gives you that back. And then for the bond, Bomber. Using your class ability will give you back a sizable chunk of your grapple. And pairing that with one of these will allow you to really get that cycle going. Now I'd like to go over, do I actually recommend building into this ability? No, I don't. It's not a super good ability, as there is no synergy within the Strand subclass with unraveling. Killing unraveled enemies or unraveling enemies doesn't give you any ability energy back. The only thing you're really going to get from it is a little bit of damage and then spawning tangles. Is it fun? Yes. But are you going to be using this inside the day 1 raid? Or Grandmasters? No. Probably not unless you're a hunter. And unfortunately, especially not if you're a warlock. Because our little dudes, our children, our lovely little green men that we spawn from our Grapple Melee can't spawn orbs. So the only thing that they can do is damage. And that unfortunately just isn't conducive to a good build. And as a quick side note, Broodweaver warlocks out there, just use the Threadling grenade. Those Threadlings are the only type of Threadlings that can spawn orbs. So that's it for this video. Grapple Melee is just a weird ability. Probably the first in Destiny history that counts as both a grenade and a melee. But let me know what you guys think. Have y'all noticed anything weird happening with your melees? To be honest, sometimes I'll hit something and I just don't do any damage or get no ability energy back at all. It's just funky. It's a funky ability. And how are you guys liking Lightfall? I'm really enjoying it. I'm really excited to put some build stuff together. Let me know what you guys want to see from me. I would really love to hear the feedback. Thank you so much for your support. I hope to see you around.